Welcome to the first session of Shattered Lands. I'm very excited to share this world with you guys. So I'm just gonna get right into it, and I have a little bit of an introduction, because I know you guys are familiar with the world and the setting and everything. But just to kind of go as a refresher, going into this first session is the continent of Alela was once a land of prosperity and magic. The four countries together shared in their success until the Shattering. The Shattering brought forth ruin to the most developed cities and decimated the land. The heroes of old failed. A plague was released into the northern country of Tergor. Cultists in the southern province of Amia summoned Margath's generals and hordes of demons, and the greed of the nobles in the eastern kingdom of Kadrin summoned dragons beyond counting. Izeth remains the last inhabitable part of the known world. A great expanse of rocky desert sprawls across this land. Caves, canyons, gorges, cactus, and ravenous wildlife make up this lawless land. For reasons only known to the gods themselves, Izeth was spared the calamities of its neighboring territories, and currently remains the only civilization that has withstood the tests of the Shattering and of time. Unlike the other three countries, it was not a place of great success and advancement. It remained more of a scattering of outposts, where the other three kingdoms and countries sent their criminals, their political upstarts, homeless, addicts, really anyone they deemed unfit for life in the other territories. But despite the grim sentencing, the current inhabitants make do with what they have. Many are hardy and used to power and gang control shifting hands like the desert sands. This information was kept under wraps before the Shattering, but it has become more common knowledge afterward. There's no current defunct leader or ruling group over Izeth, though many have tried. In this, the 150th year since the Shattering, the territory is contested between three gangs: the Silver Watch, the Crimson Jackals, and the Brass Vipers. The descendants of many of those initial inhabitants still live in Izeth and carry little to no fondness for the life that was. Their primary concern is with the cities that still yet stand and the gangs that are currently vying for power. Most notably is Barren Sands, a port city that has become the unofficial capital of Izeth. This is where each of your stories have begun. Or rather, currently a few days' travel outside of Barren Sands, in a Silver Watch encampment, nestled in between a gorge, hidden away in a cave, in a prison. That is where our story truly begins. Maisie, you were thrown into the cell about a day ago. Much of your journey here, wherever you are, was spent bound, gagged, blinded, probably to keep you from knowing where you were. They haven't explained to you why you were taken yet. But you've been given water, you've been given food. They've kept you awake and in decent health, all things considered. But a cage is still a cage. And one of the guards, seeing your little companion stuffed away in a coat, has been giving you little extras of food for Stitches, your fuzzy little companion.
No, I'm just saying. Good, I like that one.
Yeah. No, they do, there is some sympathy as they see, oh, a cat got dragged into this too, quite literally, and like little bits of meat and stuff find their way onto your tray. During your time in the cell, you've overheard a few guards just casually talking. Your first day there, you hear a couple of them go, "Man, what is it lately? Some in Barren Sands. We just caught a couple of jackals roaming around." "Really? Jackals?" the other one says. "Yeah, well, they weren't openly jackals, but they had ties to the jackals, you know. And then this third one, we can't really figure out who she's with, but she's quite a spitfire. And, well, I mean, she was consorting with the jackals, so we reckon she probably knows something. She just hasn't told us yet. It's probably only a matter of time." Yeah, sure. But, what do you What do you think they want with them? I mean, it's hardly anything. Well, there's been so little resistance from the jackals lately. It's kind of backed off, hasn't it? Yeah. But, never be too careful. Apparently, Asher lost one of his prize fighters. Seriously, Rentari did? Yeah. Apparently, she, kidnapped his little one, his kid, and, the two of them tried to run off together. Shit. Yeah. Maisie, you're mostly alone. You can see, there's a few empty cells next to you. And there's one diagonal. Ever since you arrived, there's been a kind of large, like, hooded figure. Their face is kind of undiscernible. They really don't move a whole lot. And their general frame and build is bigger than, like, a usual humanoid. But they haven't made any move to speak with you, or interact with you, or even really interact with the guard.
Could Maisie see then, like, when we say don't move, do we mean that they've been, like, comatose stock still the whole time? Like, they're unmoving entirely? Or do we mean that they're just quiet, they're not talking to anyone,
they're just
be in anyone's...
quiet.
Okay.
They're not poking into your business, and they're silently hoping that you don't poke into theirs.
I think... When did they come in? Were they with Maisie from the start, or did they come in
They've been there from the start.
Yeah, I think after Maisie's kind of gotten her bearings, and especially when she starts hearing the guards chattering about the jackals, like, between her checking on Stitches, we'll just be like, is this entire thing about jackals? Is that what this whole business is about?
Meow.
Stitches, I know that I always value your opinion, but at this rate, I don't think that has anything to do with it.
Stitches just kind of, like, curls in your jacket where it's, like, warm, because it is kind of cold where you guys are. It's damp. Even without the sun, you definitely feel a chill, and Shivers is just kind of curled up and is keeping warm.
Missed it. Forced take a nap right between the conversation. Hey! Yeah, I know you're avoiding me. Kinda hard to do that in the cage.
The figure doesn't move.
Listen, I might have terrible aim, but there's a whole bunch of sand, and I can start throwing it if you don't want to talk. So I advise you do that before we both get dusty.
As you start yelling at the other figure, you watch as one of the guards comes over and kind of, like, bangs a baton a few times on the bars. Hey, cut it out.
What, you're two talking? Am I not allowed to talk?
Yeah, we're talking, but you're harassing the other inmate.
Oh, I'm harassing? Okay, well, how about I talk to you, huh?
Sure.
Is this entire thing something about the jackals?
Most things are.
Why? Why am I here?
You'd have to bring it up with the people above me. I was just told to bring you in.
That is the most piss-poor, salty response I have heard. What are you, a table waiter?
The guard just kind of, like, narrows his eyes.
Just stares back. Are you?
Yes, I'm a glorified waiter. Like, rolls his eyes and walks away.
Well, shoot, I might start having to work for him, because apparently they got better equipment.
you get flipped off.
Oh, real mature. I'm sorry, I didn't know they recruited kids.
Um, you can see as the one that's been kind of antagonizing you goes back over, the other guard kind of like elbows him in the side, like, man, let up a little bit. She's a doctor. He was like, oh, that's the doctor?
No, I'm just a glorified cat caller.
They both like look back at you at the outburst and just kind of like, okay.
You talk real loud over there.
So do you.
Well, yeah, 'cause I want conversation. And if I can't talk to the one over there, guess what? Look who's left.
As this exchange is going back and forth, a commotion kind of starts at the door as you hear like a knocking, and one of the guards goes up to open the door, and another one comes kind of frantically in. He says, we got a problem. We you know that fighter that took Sabine, apparently Theragar brought her in a state. You didn't just bring her back in one piece. They were like, shit, really? Yeah. Boss says she's still imprisoned, but she's in rough shape, don't suppose.
Hey!
What?
Hey!
The one that just...
Are you telling me there's someone in here who's hurting, and you're not letting me see him?
All three of them turn to you, like... The one pipes
like,
up...
puts hands up like, I'm a patcher!
She is a doctor. Right. I'm gonna go let him know to bring her in here instead. And the guard that had just kind of entered kind of like backs up and shuts the door. Like he doesn't know quite what he just walked into. But he's just gonna go make the arrangements off screen.
Does he think I'm gonna bite him from all the way over here? I ain't got teeth that long.
And a few minutes pass, and the guard comes back, and the door opens, and there's actually not just the one guard, but a few of them. One kind of pulling each arm, and Nick, if you would like to describe your character. As she's getting pulled in.
So they are dragging in a tall, muscular dragonborn female. She has dark black scales, and there are patches of copper scattered around that kind of contrast just a little bit. Dusty, dirty. Definitely looks like she's been through the desert for a while. She's got small pointed ears under notably one horn. It's curved, ends in a sharp point. The other one is shattered. She's got cuts and blood down one side of her face. Dressed in armor. She's kind of patchwork, mix of metal, bone. Looks more like scale mail with some spiked leather. Notably, the fighter.
I think Maisie like scoots up to the bars whenever there is someone like being pulled in.
And they seem like the guards that are like dragging Jordan kind of look at each other and look to the others, and the others that have been keeping watch just kind of wave their hands like, yeah, go ahead and just throw her in there with her. And Jordan, you are kind of briefly in and out of consciousness. You can feel that you're getting relocated in a very uncomfortable way, but you can kind of start to hear like muffled voices, and a bit of feeling is starting to return to your body as the whole dizziness. You have a mother of all headaches. Before you're even fully conscious, it hits you. But they drag you into the cell beside Maisie and lock the door behind you.
Beside me, beside. No, put her in here.
Oh, they put her in
Like,
your.
she-
They
put her
yeah,
in-
it was in the. It was in the cell with you.
I like to imagine they start
No.
to fit there in the other one, but she's like, "What are you doing? Put her in here.
Maisie.
I cannot reach through those bars.
Reach through the bars, Maisie.
Yeah, well, here, let me do this. Come on,
Ma-
bear.
Maisie bullies them until they do it.
Table manners are as atrocious as a hand out of the sand.
And Jorn, as you come to consciousness, Maisie, if you would like to describe yourself.
Yeah. Maisie is a rough-looking human woman. Her left eye has a scarring over it that has rendered it blind. And she has long, like, it's curly, wavy, sort of like flaxen hair. It's a very, very light blonde coloration. In the right light, it can come off as just white, but most of the times when you get closer, it's blonder. Is dressed down in old leathers. Her jacket looks like it was made custom for her, but still has like a bunch of wear and tear of just with many different pockets, both on the outside and on the inside, for her to be able to store whatever she needs. And she just kind of scoots her way over towards Joran as Joran is being basically like put into the cell. How big is the cell, by the way? Is it like cramp style, or is it like there's a bit of give?
No, there's a little bit of give. There are individual cells, but those are reserved for more high-profile individuals. You've been thrown into kind of the common rabble, where there's a bit more give. They're probably made for a few individuals to be contained at once. Oh god, a few individuals to be contained at once, so you have some space.
Now, can I ask real quick? Does Maisie actually have like her stuff on her, barring her weapons?
Yes,
Okay.
they would have just taken your weapons.
Congratulations, they took a dagger.
Yeah, they found
crossbow.
They found a dagger and a crossbow and were like, all right, cool, you can have the rest of it. We don't really care. So yeah, I will say that she has her doctor equipment.
She'll look like, oh, shoot! You do to her, stir her with the rest?
The two guards that brought her in have left. They left after making sure that she was in the jail with you. The other two, one of them, the nicer one, has kind of come over and like looked and was like kind of makes a face as he sees the state of Joran's face and where the horn has been broken. Like, ugh. I don't know. I mean, I heard it was Theragar that brought her in, but he's a little more on the brutal side.
That's putting it bluntly like a freak rock through a window. Give me some water, if you will. And she just starts rolling up her sleeves, starts like pulling out equipment from pockets.
Yeah, and that person will go over and get some water and bring it over to you.
And she'll, using that, I don't know if you want me to actually roll or do anything necessarily, but she will start to clean out and attend to injuries as best as she can.
Okay. I will just say that with your medical capabilities up to this point, it's fairly straightforward. It's pretty dirty. It's not a clean wound by any means, and it's not been properly cleaned yet. But with given some time, you are able to take care of that. She does have some other wounds on her person. A few places where she was stabbed. But that's kind of the most glaring of the injuries.
Yeah, she will doing the best she can with what she has here. Will start to check on the bleeding, check on the severity of the wounds, treat them as best as she can with what she does have on her to kind of seal up, stitch up, and clean out. It's not necessarily in that order, but basically just disinfecting, making sure that nothing is suddenly gouging out, bleeding, have to stitch together a suture, what's needed, stuff like that. I won't go into super talk.
Yeah.
But she'll just kind of look, especially at the dirtiest of the wounds, one where it's just a very nasty fit. It's like, what did the snake make his den in here? Hell did he hit her with?
I don't know. He has a number of weapons. He's like one of those jack of all trades kind of guys.
Like partial to poison.
Not that I know of. At this point, Jordan, you are starting to come more into consciousness, and you can start to hear the conversation. You have the mother of all migraines right now.
Yeah, that doesn't feel great. And can she start to feel like, I guess it's just Maisie at this point moving around, like around her?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, one hand, I'm gonna assume, since she's probably not even opening her eyes to check, that it's gonna miss, but she's gonna reach up and try to like grab where she feels Maisie moving around. It's probably slow, clumsy, but she's going for it.
It's the grappling check.
Sure.
I'm gonna do that at disadvantage for myself because she's like, I can't
acrobatics.
even imagine.
I think.
Yeah. So
sure. Oh right, we can. Oh, I love that.
Do you want me to do athletics or acrobatics?
I think it has to be. Well, I don't know. That's up to you. I think it has to be athletics.
Athletics, yeah.
If you're the grabber, if you're the grabby.
Yeah, no, you you miss.
I figured. Yeah, I was gonna give it to her for free. I don't think Jordan could actually properly track motion right now between her headache and the trauma to her head, but she tries, and she just lets out like a little growl. She can't really even get the words at the moment.
Jordan can feel a answering slap on the back of her hand. Maisie's like, "You put that down! Don't put your grippers around me right now. I'm trying to help you. Okay? You're gonna wake up soon."
Where is she?
Say that again.
Where is she?
She come with someone.
The guard kind of looks really confused at this and shakes his head.
I don't know what she you're referring to there, miss.
Just kind of rumbles and leaves it.
See, I'm gonna open your eyes real quick. Okay? I need to check them to see if something's gone done in your brain.
Yeah, go for it. She's not struggling anymore at this point, because it's like, now that initial there's somebody unfamiliar around me while I feel this bad has kind of settled, she's back in that mode of, okay, there's a medic, just sit here, tolerate it. So she'll let Maisie do what she needs to do.
I will take your stoic silence as an acceptance of my pestering, so hang on. And she'll just open the eyes and check both of them just to see if there's any concussion or damage that's visible there. But also just kind of you get a face full of Maisie for a few seconds.
Yeah, you don't see a concussion, I would say. It's DM.
Right, well, your pupils ain't looking any bigger than a pinprick. Well, so it looks. I'll say that's good. Right, it is my medical opinion that you were fucked up, but alive, and mostly. You know what? That's better than that.
That's fucking every day.
Yeah, probably. It's barren sands. Or... Where are we?
Camp.
It's very descriptive. If I was a toad, you! She'll point towards one of the guards again.
Huh? The
Where
nicer one is, like, stepped forward, and the other one's just kind of, like, gone back to, like, reading. We're in the Silverwatch base camp. You guys are in the holding cells.
Shoot. Well, I think... But, she was closer to town.
No, we're a few days from Barren Sands.
Right. What's your name? She'll turn back to Doran. Well, both of your names. This one right now.
Joran.
Doran. I'm Maisie. It's nice to meet you. So... Well, no, actually, this is how I meet most people, so never mind.
The guard kind of offers an awkward wave to the nice one. I'm Sam.
Sam. You're nice. I do like you.
Oh, thank you.
You ain't the one I kicked in the balls, are you?
No, that would have been, was it Roy that was talking about getting kicked in the balls by the doctor? He, like, asks the other guard. Oh, I don't fucking remember. We'll get back to you on that.
Good, I want to make sure he doesn't put any more fools into this world. Anyhow. Joran, you need to lay there for a bit more? Feeling good enough to sit up.
Ask like I'm gonna fucking go somewhere.
Option has you on your back and not really knowing what else is going to happen. The other has you sitting up nice and polite and being able to converse, if you...
Yeah, she'll start pushing herself up.
Izzy'll offer a hand if she wants it.
Joran looks at it for a moment and just keeps pushing herself back up. It looks a little awkward. She's big, probably doesn't have all of her balance yet, but she gets up, uses the tail a little bit to kind of counterbalance as she gets herself on her feet, and now
Careful.
she's staring down the guards. Is Sam still right
Yeah,
up by
Sam
the...
looks like a little intimidated by you. You get the feeling maybe he's seen some of your fights, or at least knows of you, and just kind of like takes a little bit of a step back.
If you're gonna punch anyone, please don't punch that one. At least.
She'll kind of stagger walk. She honestly walks like she's probably drunk right now. It's gonna take a little bit, but she gets herself up to the bars and
Use the bars! Don't
yeah, she hears Maisie say not that one, so she doesn't do her first instinct, which was to reach through the bars to try to grab him.
Yeah, he stepped away far enough that you cannot reach him. He knows how this goes.
Kind of as violently as she can manage right now, which is not too much, but you know, still giant dragon where she'll grab the bars and stick her face right up. Where the fuck did he take her?
He's like stuttering, and like you can see little beads of sweat going down his face. He's this poor kind of pale, thin, kind of lanky looking, mostly human fellows just kind of standing there sweating, looking at you. Who? I can...
Where the fuck is Theragar?
Oh, Theragar, he's probably reporting into Rintari right about now. Wait, do you mean his daughter?
Yeah, who the fuck else?
He, like, blinks a minute. Oh, I don't know, I just assumed that she'd be with him. I don't know the details. I'm sorry.
You useless, and she just moves away from the bars.
He takes a few steps back again.
Is there like anything to sit on in the cell, or is it just
Yeah,
plain
there are
floor
like
bars?
there are some cots. There's like 2 cots, I will say, in your guys' little cell.
She'll get herself over to one of them, just heavily sits down on it, just now she's back into wait mode.
Are there pillows in this cot?
Hmm?
Are there pillows with this, or is it just plain cots?
There's like straw pillows. They're really shitty. But it's not nothing.
Sam, why don't you go and spend time with Books McGee over there?
Yep, he's like already walking back towards the other guard to kind of remain at their post.
Joran, right?
Yeah.
How did you get here?
I assume you watched them drag me in.
Alright there, smirks McGee. I mean, how'd you get caught up in whatever it is that you are? Obviously, they took you for a reason, and if you ain't a jackal, which I'm starting to believe ain't true for most people in this place, other than maybe Rudy over there. She calls over to the one who hasn't responded.
Yeah, the kind of large hooded figure is just, they've shifted a little bit since you looked at them last, but otherwise has not really moved or regarded you at all.
I assume everyone that's not sitting in this camp is a fucking jackal.
So what, you got caught up with... Is this Theonar? Whatever it was.
Therogar.
There.
I don't need much of a reason. He just didn't feel like putting me down on the road, I guess.
A scuffle, then.
Yeah, I didn't get this falling into a rock.
Well, shoot, I hope not, because then you'd have to say a rock beat your ass. Why are you so concerned about whoever this girl is? You friends?
Don't see how it's any of your business.
You got much else to do but talk, and unfortunately I ain't seen the other girl in any of these cages.
You see just like her face doesn't change, but you see kind of the like spade like end of her tail just kind of start flicking back in irritation. She did not like hearing that. Are you the only one in here?
Better than our sad sack over there. Yeah.
If Joran looks over to the other individual that's in the cell, is he in the same cell, or is he like just across the way?
Yeah, it's one like across from you guys, kind of adjacent. So not directly in the cell across from you, but like one over. But the rest of the cells are pretty empty.
She recognize who that is at all?
No?
No.
No, they look like they've been there a while. They've got a noticeably big frame. I would say equivalent to full orc or dragonborn sized, but they don't look like anyone that you've ever met.
Gotcha. She kind of just gives him a look, just checking to see if she knows his face, doesn't see anything, and just kind of, she'll ignore him. He's
Yeah.
just sitting quietly in a corner, so.
Yeah. The figure will ignore you in turn.
Mm-hmm.
There is another knock at the door. As a different guard peers her head through. We've got a few more coming in. Got us any cells ready? And Sam kind of gets up. What do you mean? How many cells? What are we talking about here? Oh, we picked up a group. Caravan just brought them in. Right. And they'll Sam will head over and get the cell ready.
Hey!
But,
How many of them are injured, if any?
no, just knocked unconscious, or asleep, I guess. They didn't come in like her. The guard, kind of, points to Joran, who is, still in rough
Well, you
shape.
can understand why I'd ask, considering.
Yeah, no, they're not, and she, you can see her, kind of turn her head over her shoulder, maybe ask something, then turn back. No, they should be fine. Don't think there's any injuries, we just need to get them in. And the door shuts, you can hear some noise, happening on the other side, well, the first of the three to be brought in is, Shivers. You have been handcuffed, gagged, bound, and you have been on a caravan for several days, being dragged to God's only know where, and you are currently being pushed through this doorway into what looks like, well, you don't really have any context for a jail, but you're getting thrown in jail. The rest of you see a hobgoblin getting pushed through the door.
He's probably looking around at all the things. Is he still gagged? This is an important question.
Yes, he is still gagged.
Okay, good. That's a great decision.
They probably learned very quickly.
They did! They learned day one to shove a sock in it. As Shivers, you are dragged over to the cell next to Joran and Maisie, and you are just kind of pushed onto the ground. And they lock the door behind you. But your gag is removed. And they remove they would have removed the handcuffs as well, so that you're not completely unable to move or do anything. But you are locked in a cell.
Before anything else, I imagine it's like before they push him to the ground, when they take off his gag and his
Yeah.
handcuffs, and he just looks at the guard who did it, and he's like, "Oh, thank you, sir." But then they push him down, in the middle of the sentence.
Oh, thank you.
He's gonna get right back up and approach the edge of the cell. "Excuse me, sir."
The guard that shoved you in is going back to get whoever's next, but Sam comes over. Yes?
"What's this place?"
The holding cells.
Why are they called that?
Because you're being held here? He looks really confused as you ask him this. You're being detained.
"Well, I might not see them, sir, but nobody's holding me. I don't feel held."
It's a more of a metaphorical kind of holding. You can't leave. You're stuck here.
You sure he didn't get hit?
Not that I know of. They said they didn't bring him any injuries, and before he can really go to respond, the door opens, and Jasminder, you were brought through. Same manner, bound and gagged, you're put in the cell with Shivers, and they take off the gag and the handcuffs, and you are less forcefully led into the cell.
I realized, could we get descriptions for both of them?
Oh, yes, of course. My bad. Shivers, if you would like to describe yourself first.
I was not even thinking about it. Does he still have his armor?
Yes, you have your armor,
Okay.
but no weapons.
No weapons. That's great. He had like 4 of them or something. Shivers is a scarlet-skinned hobgoblin. On the shorter side, really broad-shouldered but kind of skinny. He's wearing thick splint armor from head to toe that's really worn but very clearly made for him. There's a whole bunch of straps and things on the side where weapons were kept before they were taken away. The leather hood at the top of the armor is pulled back, and he's got a big old sort of scruffy head of black hair and a little goatee. And I think other than that, he is shivering like he's cold, basically constantly as they sort of drag him into the cell.
For Jasmine, you see a darker skinned woman with a long black braid down to her waist, a few white hairs as flyaways, dressed in like purple and gold leathers. And she just walks into her cell, turns around and thanks them, I suppose.
You are treated much less forcefully, and you're treated nicer than Shivers is. To put it lightly.
So sorry, Shivers.
Did she say that?
Yeah.
Why are you sorry?
You got pushed.
Oh, that's alright. It didn't hurt. I'm all clad up in armor.
I'm glad. Wow. This is fun.
An interesting definition of this.
Oh, we have friends.
Zivers will offer a nice wave. Hello there.
Howdy. I'm Doc Maisie. This here's Joran. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Jordan's just quietly staring.
Stoic. We like
Alright.
that.
Maisie's gonna reach in, like, gently displace Stitches. Walk over to Joran and just be like, you allergic to cats?
No.
Good. And just put Stitches on Joran's lap and go over to the bars.
Stitches looks very confused, and will
Jordan also looks very confused.
just kind of sniff Joran a few times, and be unsure, putting her paws down, is this safe? And kind of just tentatively move to figure out what Joran's
how big of a cat is Shiver or Stitches?
somewhere around 6 to 9 months, so not fully grown, still a little scrappy.
So,
and
mini
there's
cat.
and there's a splint wrapped around one of its back legs.
Small.
Careful of that leg.
She'll kind of pause for a moment while she's just getting over that initial surprise of suddenly having a cat thrust at her. But once she's over that, Stitches looks a little less, scared hunched cat mode. She will carefully scoop him up and put him on her shoulder opposite the injury so that he's not kind of sitting on all that bloody scarf shawl.
There's a little as you pick up Stitches, but there is no resistance. Stitches is a pretty laid back cat. You get sniffed and kind of figured out as a person as Stitches tries to make heads or tails what to think of you.
He's a lot lighter than her normal shoulder companion.
And it is at this point, Maisie, as you go up to the bars to speak to your new companions, that the third individual is brought in. Now, Jeff, I have a serious question. Would they have had... What would Kieran have done when he realized that they were taking him in to be imprisoned?
The first thing he would have done upon first waking up is he would have sat quietly for about an hour.
Mm-hmm. It was a few days of travel, is why I ask.
Yeah, so for that first day upon waking up and realizing that he was bound and probably at best on the way to a prison camp, is sit quietly for an hour and talk to the ghosts in his head, and change his chosen proficiency to athletics so he could be a slightly better fighter using Whispers of the Dead. So he's now proficient in athletics, but that's just a mechanical thing. But then after that, he would have immediately tried to overpower a guard and take their sword.
Yeah, you might have gotten to overpower one person, but it was a group of people. They swiftly come down on you, and you spend the rest of your trip unconscious, as they keep giving you sleepy time doses.
And I imagine also bound and gagged and...
Oh yes, the whole shebang.
Double manacled and shackled. And...
Yep. Kieran is the problem child, and so Kieran is dragged in unconscious, and kind of laid into the cell because you can't really move. You're unconscious. You're starting to come to consciousness, but it might be a little while. You are moved into the cell with, I will say, Shivers and Jazz.
Cool. Maisie and Joran, you see an unconscious and trussed and bound human man with light skin, a scar running from his the outside of his right eye down his cheek into a short but unkempt beard. He's wearing really patched leathers. It looks like the breastplate is from one set, the shoulder plate is from another set, the leg pads are from a third different set, and the arms might match the legs. And his clothes are essentially rags underneath them and over them. He looks destitute.
A scabber.
More or less.
He also gets to keep the manacles. He doesn't get unbound when he gets thrown in the cell.
Does he at least get ungagged?
Yeah, he'll get ungagged, but
okay.
you keep those manacles.
Suffocates.
So he's bound. I would imagine he's bound at the wrists and bound at the legs. And I don't know how well off the Silverwatch is, but if they're pretty well off, I would imagine those bounds on his wrists and those bounds on his ankles are then bound together because he is a problem child.
Yeah.
Or a problem man. He's older.
Yes.
He looks, by the way, like he's late 30s, early 40s.
Could we get some water at least, please?
You see one of the guards, Sam kind of nods. Yeah, sure. You guys probably just came in from a bit of a walk, so he'll go over and get you a thing of water and hand over a water skin.
Thank you.
Kind of giving a wide berth around where Jordan and Maisie are. You notice, he diverts in his path to give them a nice, 5-foot wide berth.
Are the cells right next to each other, or are they a bit far apart?
They're relatively close to each other. You guys are able to converse easily enough.
Yeah, but Maisie was walking towards the side of the bars that was nearest to the cage where Shivers and Shoot, wait a minute.
Yep.
Jasmine.
Yeah.
I wanted to say Jasmine. I was like, wait, no, that's not it.
That's
It's
cool.
close. Jasmine.
Almost there.
But like was moving that way and then got now buddy in here. Just kind of looked around and sees like all of Manic was like, shoot, why are you slapping with so many irons? What? Take you for a ride?
He's kind of a problem, and Jasmine is just gonna take the water skin from Sam. Also, thanks, Sam. Thank you. What was your name again? She asked.
My name's Sam. He seems visibly flustered, like talking to you.
Sam.
Yes.
Thank
That's
you.
my name. What's your name?
Jasmine.
Oh, it's a lovely
Should we
name.
shout a hand to even shake his hand?
Is
Yeah,
he in the cell with us?
No, he is outside the cell. Like, he's been handing these inside the bars. And he'll reach out his hand, kind of tentatively, like he knows this is probably not the best idea, but he'll shake Jasminder's hand.
Alright, she's gonna turn around and go over to Kieran and kind of like sit him up, like prop him up against a wall, and then just splash some water in his face, try and get him up, slap his cheeks a couple times.
I
Hello?
don't think that's
Is
how
he
you
in
drink
our cell?
water, Miss Jasmine.
I think I'm in their cell, Nancy.
You're stuck with me.
Oh, so okay, so he's in our cell or theirs?
He's
No, he's with them.
yeah, he's in theirs.
Oh shoot. Maisie will go in. Don't worry, Maisie will go and do all that. I imagine Jasmine just like, it's like, could you do this and this, please? And Maisie's
Well,
like, yeah, I'm
no,
on it.
West. He is in Jasminder's cell.
Oh, he's in there. All right, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind.
But yeah,
That's
she just
bad.
props him up against the wall and starts like throwing water in his face and smacking his cheeks a little.
Eventually he'll come to and just be like, alright, where are we?
Well, judging by the dirt, the general bleakness of it all. Oh, and the bars, it looks like jail. We're in jail.
No, I got out of jail.
No, you're back in it.
He just sits quietly with that for a moment and then tries to like move his hands at all.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, don't do that. And Jasmine is just gonna try to help him drink some water here.
Yeah, he drinks ravenously. He's probably not had a drink in it, had anything to drink in 2 or 3 days, however long it took to travel here, because he was unconscious for most of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe next time we don't assault the guard.
Maybe next time when I tell you to run because bad things are gonna happen, you should run. Otherwise, you wind up in jail.
Maybe we don't look for bad things. That usually helps.
Will you admit that we were being followed?
I suppose I have to admit that, yes, we were being followed. You were right. Are you happy that you were right and that now we're in jail?
No, I would rather not be in jail and have been wrong, obviously, but we need to get out of jail.
I was thinking we'd stay here, you know? Make a nice little home here. Sam, over there.
Impossible?
Yes, I am, especially when I am in jail. I'm just gonna take the water skin and go back to Sam, or like call out for Sam, like, excuse me, Sam?
Yeah?
Sam, I'm so sorry. I hate to be a bother. Could I get more water?
Oh,
How with it is Kieran currently?
you're pretty out of it, but you're able to, like, hear what's going on. You hear some other things that aren't going on. But you can see Jez talking to somebody and trying to get more water.
Could he get to his feet and follow Jasmine to the cell wall? Or the bars?
Yeah, you can. As you approach, though, the the guard does take a step back.
It's fine, man. I'm bound. What can I do?
Fair. I suppose that's true. You said you wanted more water. I don't know if I can give out all that much, but I mean...
Just a little more, please.
Make a persuasion check?
Okay, cool. I'm not good at these. It's a 12?
Yeah, he'll take it. Alright, I can manage a bit more without getting in too much trouble, and he'll go over and refill it and bring it back over.
The second he puts his arm through the
God,
gate
oh
to
my
hand her
fucking
back
God.
the water, Kieran is going to attempt to, even though he's bound, grab Sam's hand and yank his head into the bar.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Make with
Good one.
disadvantage. I will say,
Say it again?
because make an athletics with disadvantage since you are bound,
Yeah, that's fine.
and I will contest it against his.
It's a 12.
That is 12.
I truly just wanted more water.
I know you did.
I
know you did.
Oh.
Kieran
Kieran doesn't like being in jail. He
It's
wants
so
to get out of
sad.
jail as
Don't do
soon
things
as
to put yourself
possible.
in jail.
Um,
This is why they knock you out.
let me. Hang on.
What did he roll?
I'm bringing up the sheet. I didn't expect you to ram him into the bars.
So lucky he actually walked over to you.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Damn it, Sam.
Good job, Sam.
You grab Sam's arm and you almost hear a pop as you yank, and a ding as he hits the bars square in the middle of the forehead and goes down.
What the hell did you just do?
Immediately, the other guard comes over and is grabbing him and like pulling him back.
Oh, I didn't expect him to back up so quickly.
How
that
close
sucks,
is
that
that
sucks.
other guard to Joran's cell?
Come on, Jordan. Come on, Jordan.
Oh my god.
Come on, Jordan.
How close is he?
How long are your arms?
I mean, she's about 7 feet tall, so
True.
she's pretty tall. I'd imagine she's got pretty long arms.
Yeah, go ahead and I will, sure, because he's in that moment not thinking about your cell. Go ahead and roll an
Yeah.
athletics.
Yeah, so Kieran grabs the other guard, and Joran kind of sees him move because she's just been like kind of blank stare waiting. So she sees him move, and she gets up and goes for the corner and tries to reach out for him. And is that going to be at normal or disadvantage?
I will say yours is normal because you're not bound.
Gotcha.
That's
That is a
random.
solid 12.
That's the
I mean, it
result.
worked
Ricky.
last time,
Let's
so
go.
don't never say never.
Oh
Never
my
say
god! These guards rolled a natural 1 and an 8.
They rolled a natural 1 and a
grabs him
natural 3.
and tries to like catch him kind of, if she can manage to get him like kind of around the neck just to pull him away from Kieran.
Yeah, no, you succeed, and you, I will say, not a full grapple, but you are able to keep him from getting to Kieran. Kieran, what are you doing with poor Sam?
Checking him as quickly as possible for keys.
Make an investigation since you're kind of looking around, with intent.
Mm-hmm. No longer, it was at, normal or at disadvantage?
I'll just say normal because it's not like a physical check. You're just looking over.
It's not bad.
15? No, I'll say with a 15. It takes you a second to grab the keys, but you were able to find the keys.
He's gonna start trying to undo his manacles first.
What
Can't
the
fight while you're
hell
locked up.
was that? What did you just do?
The other guard
Is-
is...
Absolutely, like, plucked. Just like,
No, you're
while
good.
this crazy is going on, and like, Joran moves, she just reaches over and plucks stitches off, just so the stitches doesn't get jostled, and puts them back.
I forgot
poor
he
kitten.
was sitting there.
kitten.
Joran forgot too.
Stitches, as you moved, like, did the back arch, like, bounce, as the tail just went poof, and all the like fur on her back just poofs. And yeah, you just grab Stitches, and there's a moment where you feel Stitches like freak out as you grab her, but you are able to contain her, and she kind of calms down a little bit, and
Snuggle in, just stops her freaking.
Just in the pocket. Into the pocket.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, go ahead and Jordan, what are you doing with the scar that you have in your arms?
She's just holding him. I mean, she's not outright trying to hurt him. If he struggles, she's obviously trying to tighten her grip to try to keep him from moving, but she's not outright trying to, like, injure him.
Sleeper hold.
Shivers, what are you doing during all of this?
I imagine he's just standing there for the most part. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. He'll ask Kieran, like, once the guard is down, is there anything you need me to help with, Mr. Kieran?
Yeah, make sure he stays where he is, and he points to Sam on the ground.
Alright. I guess Shivers will just, like...
And yeah, so sorry, by the way.
Just put
I'm
two
so
hands
sorry.
on his chest
Don't
and just
apologize.
sort of push a little bit.
No, it's fine. Let me, okay, so there's the stat blocks for these two guys. That's fine. Who needs those other encounters anyway? This one'll work.
We'll get there. We will get to them.
We are in the middle of a camp. I don't think we're
Jeff, understand that this is an exercise in futility.
Yes.
Kieran is not thinking straight.
No, he's not. Poor Kieran, man. Okay. So, yes, Jordan, you are holding this man. He's going to attempt to break free, so I need you to just go ahead and make another athletics check as he tries to break free.
That's a 10.
Yep. Nope, that's
further than I thought I'd get.
Yeah, no, but yeah, this other guard did roll a 20, and it is unfortunately the meaner guard. So you get an elbow to the stomach, and it happens to hit you right where one of your wounds was from getting stabbed by Theragar, and you kind of instinctively loosen your hold to kind of rear back in pain. And the other guard comes to Kieran. I will say, you managed to get off your hand manacles before both guards kind of get their bearings and go in to try and restrain you. And I need you to make a athletics check. I'll say straight roll since it's you are no longer restrained by the manacles.
Sure. Athletics?
Yes.
18.
18.
Is Kieran gonna be my first character that rolls good consistently?
Unfortunately, the guard just rolled a little bit higher.
I
so
mean, it was good, but his was just gooder.
Yeah, his was just gooder.
Yeah.
And he also had advantage because he had his buddy helping him. As both Sam and this other guard work to restrain you, you get kind of forcefully shoved into the ground as you feel the manacles are back in place, and you are kind of roughly kept in the dirt until you hear the jail door shut behind you.
Why didn't that work? Why isn't it? There we go. He spits blood in Sam's face. I rolled a D2 to see if it was Sam or the other guy, but he spits blood. I'm sorry, Sam. He spits blood in Sam's face.
You can see where his nose has been broken. He is bleeding from the nose profusely already. And you can see just a giant red line going down the middle of his face where he hit the bar.
I would imagine he's bound behind the back now.
Oh yeah, that's behind the back now. And they both kind of leave you quietly.
I'm so sorry, Sam.
I love that Shivers helped in such a non-way. That they were like, "No, don't fucking worry about that one.
I love
Just cuff this
Shivers.
dude."
So great already.
Does he even know what's going on?
Not at all.
Yeah.
No.
They didn't seem all
He's
that
got-
concerned with you, Shivers.
He doesn't know what's going on, but he's got spirit, Captain.
Yeah. Ain't in vain of that. He'll look at Kieran and say, "It was a good try, Mr. Kieran."
Kieran doesn't respond. He's just kind of lightly banging the back of his head against the floor.
Has no one ever told you catch more flies with honey than vinegar? Ever?
You're about the fucking silver watch.
Oh,
Damn.
I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to help people. I just wanted to fucking help people.
Yeah, that doesn't get very far.
I'm
Damn.
trying so hard to be nice to you. Please shut up.
I disagree, Mr. Kieran. She helped me lots,
Lady, are you calling for
and we traveled
Sam?
really
Yeah,
far.
yeah. Sam will, as you're calling for him, he will
Is-
give a wide berth and
I might have broke Sam's shoulder and nose. He might be unavailable.
I know,
Maybe it's the
that's
other
why
one,
I wanted
though.
to see him.
he
Just
comes around the corner and you can see have a thick cloth around his nose, and you can see the red stripe from where he hit the bars. And he looks very done. He went from being good cop to being I want to go home.
Same, buddy.
Same, buddy.
Yeah, Maisie just like looks at him and looks at the looks behind the drawer and is like, I asked him to come close to reset his nose. Are you gonna try and reach around me and do something?
Just kind of sighs and goes back over to her cot, just plops down. Excitement's over anyway, so she's just...
I will take that as a brooding. Sam, come here. Just sit
He,
with the nerves at
he
least.
looks very nervous as he watches Joran go over and lay down. He just kind of tentatively comes forward, but he's like he's like a frightened wild animal that looks ready to bolt at a second's notice.
Maisie will like dig into one of her pockets and she'll pull out like little it's like more I imagine in this world they can't really make the same kind of like compression like making pills or anything, so it's more like a really like as well as you can like pellet of like a painkiller basically, like crushed up and then just kind of mashed into each other and then solidified as much as can be.
Mhm.
She'll just offer that out. It's like, take that, water, swallow it, dry, like you're eating hay. But
Jasminder's gonna hand the water skin to Macy through the bars and be like, "Here, clean
Thank you.
clean it, please."
thank you. All right, I'm gonna reset you. Drink this first. Take the painkiller.
He takes the painkiller and the drink.
Clean. Mason like doing all this through the bar. Just like,
Yeah, he'll move closer as he sees you're like genuinely trying to help. He'll try and make this somewhat easier.
this is gonna hurt. I'm not even gonna have that. Okay, you ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Oh, I know it ain't nice.
Oh no.
Never is. Let's get a
Oh.
split and just like splits his nose there on the outside. Okay. Careful.
Yeah.
Try not to get it booped anymore. It's gonna deviate until you look like you're a crossways lizard.
Oh, okay. Anything I should know going forward, or is it just gonna be like this for a while?
It's just gonna be like that for a bit.
Okay, yeah.
Just be careful of the bleeding.
Right.
If
Stop
you-
a little bit.
If you can find my things, Sam, there's some wine in there. I'm so sorry that happened. I didn't want that.
It's okay. it happens. Yeah, everybody reacts differently to getting imprisoned. I don't fault you for it. It's just how it is. Yeah, I'm gonna go swap out, I think, for a while for the next rotation. And he goes over and talks to the other guard as he's kind of like still holding his nose.
Don't
like,
tilt your head back.
Whatever
you do.
Tilts his head back. Oh, okay.
I said don't.
Oh, no, he said don't. So he
Don't go straight down your throat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I won't. Okay. And he will go, he will swap out for a brand new guard. As he goes to, be relieved of his duty. And you guys get a new guard.
He's never gotten his nose broken before.
Yeah. Well, still laying on the ground, not even, like, he's closed his eyes at this point, because, you know, that'll help a little bit, I guess. Just, why are you guys helping the people that are holding us?
Honey, not vinegar.
Because I'm a
I don't want to
catcher.
catch these motherfuckers, I want to be rid of them.
Well, you know, beating up on them is just gonna keep you here.
Being nice to them's gonna keep you here too.
Yeah, well, at least I can use all of my limbs. Can you say that for yourself?
Silence. Just silence.
Plus, here's a question. Where were you gonna go?
That was to be figured out when we get there.
Oh, sure. So you were just gonna work your way outside the tent like a hippity-hop.
One step at a time. Get out of the cage, then get out of the room holding the cage, then get out of the building holding the room, and then get into the desert, and nobody chases you there.
That is just not a plan. That is not a viable plan. That's... Oh my god.
They also chase you through the desert, by the way.
They do.
I went to jail for you. I'm here in jail. For you.
Jazz, honestly, I am very sorry about that. I will get you out of here. I will get Shivers out of here. But then, you really should have listened. You really should have let us leave your temple. This shit is gonna follow you.
I'm gonna kick
always
him.
Does.
I'm going to kick Kieran. Jasmine kicks Kieran.
I mean, she's laying on the ground, bound behind his back and at his ankles. He gets kicked.
I kick him.
She starts kicking the shit out of him.
Do you just kick? Do you just?
Just one kick. Just
Try to,
one
like,
good
Oh,
kick.
just one
foot.
kick.
Just
Can
one
you try
guy.
to stop her foot?
Yeah, the two of you make contested athletics checks.
Shivers is his bodyguard. This is bad. This is good.
You're probably gonna do better than me. Let's go. That's an 8.
I
I
really
mean,
want.
you could roll one, so...
That's a 15. It's 9
Yeah.
plus 6. It's
So,
15.
yeah, Shivers, you're able to stop it.
It's alright, Miss Jasminder.
I can't. I'm just gonna go over to the bars and just hang my head.
Hey, by the way, this whole time this has been happening, what has the quiet guy in the corner been doing?
Good
Like the
question.
one in the other cell.
Is he dead?
No, you can't really make.
person. Is he a Vatican?
No, this person has moved a few times. At the scuffle where Kieran was trying to make a break for it, I'll say make a perception check retroactively. To have kind of taken notice of. Okay.
It's a 19.
Yeah, Jordan, you see, you would have seen as you kind of had the guard in your arms, it kind of put you right in the line of view of this hooded individual, and you do see he kind of raised his chin to look at you, and you saw a just a brief flash of impossibly icy blue gaze, kind of gray skin, like darker charcoal gray skin, and it got his attention. He kind of looks over at both of the cells a moment, but as Kieran was restrained again, he kind of takes back to his silence and lets his head fall.
All right.
You can see
Jordan just kind of notes the interest, but kind of leaves that to herself.
Yeah, and he's dressed in just what looks like regular traveler's clothes, kind of raggedy. There's some like muddy patches on him, what could probably be blood stains, but it's kept very tightly covered.
I completely forgot this when I was describing Jasminder, by the way. She has impossibly blue eyes. Like
These eyes are a little different from yours. Yours are like
yeah.
a deeply saturated, colorful blue. These are almost like white.
I felt like as an important part of my character, it was something I should bring up now.
Noted.
Speaking of Jasminder, Shivers walks up to her. Can I ask you a couple questions, Miss Jasminder?
Shoot, Shivers.
What'd you say?
Shoot. You can tell me. You can ask. Go for it.
What's honey and what's vinegar?
Jasminder laughs in character. One is very sweet. One is really not tasty whatsoever. Both can be eaten.
And, did Miss Perdita follow us here?
She didn't. She did. She's...
Miss Ruaz back at the temple, she said that Miss Perdita's always watching over us. So I figure she's got to be somewhere up in the sky.
That's usually how deities work.
Alright. That's all I wanted to know.
Without opening his eyes or looking over to them, Kieran calls out, "So, what are your names?" "You know, that's Jazz, that's Shivers, I'm Kieran."
Shivers offer away.
Alright, I'm Maisie.
Joran.
Hey, you did introduce yourself this time.
Maisie and Joran, I am so sorry. I should have asked. Obviously, a lot has happened.
Alright. Joran, you seem pretty good in the scrap, so we have to figure out... Because I do owe Jasminder getting her out of here. Maisie, can you fight?
No, but I can keep you from looking like you just got beaten to bits over there.
Oh, I did just get beaten for the
Yeah, no.
third time in 4 days.
It would be amazing if we just didn't try to fight our way out of here. We can see what happens. Maybe things will go our way. I don't know.
Or maybe 10 years will go by.
Have you ever
Again.
met the Silver Watch?
Can we just leave?
No. Shivers. We're in a place called prison.
We're in the holding cells.
The holding cells are the rooms that we're in. Prison is a place where people with power send people they don't like, or people that make their lives difficult. They're going to keep us here until they find a use for us, until they stop feeding us, or until we force our way out.
So they don't like us.
No. Can't tell you why. Before you ask, I can't tell you why.
Oh, alright.
Probably think you're jackals.
Yeah, it seems to be the running theme.
I have never been a jackal in my life.
You two jackals?
I look like
Oh.
a fucking jackal.
Am
I a jackal?
No, you're
I mean,
not.
granted,
you?
George, half of his view's the floor right now.
Shivers, I actually don't. I can't tell you whether you're a jackal or not because nobody knows anything about you that happened more than 4 days ago, including you.
Alright.
Doesn't matter. They'll hold you, shake you down for whatever they want. Might let you go. Might put you to work.
Jorn, make a history check for me. I will say the DC is very low, since you've been with the Silver Watch for a while.
That is a solid 0.
God!
Natural one,
Ow.
-1.
You...
Before you say anything,
she got
can
hit pretty hard in the head. So
Yeah.
Can I give her the inspiration that you gave me for making the meme the other day?
That's true. I did give you inspiration for the meme.
are you sure you want to waste it on
It's-
that?
Yes, because I am going to eventually forget that it's there if we don't use it as soon as possible. I almost used it for the athletics check before, but I forgot that I had it.
Want to see if I can do it twice?
Yes, that too.
You hit another
Go for it.
Do it.
That's a 6.
You are so lucky because the DC was a 5. It was
Amazing.
really low because you've been in the Silver Watch for so long. I was like, yeah, I could probably just give this to her, but like, just on the off chance
Then you gotta
you
fucking
roll a
Brain is,
0.
like half scrambled right now. She's lucky she's having a conversation.
Yeah.
I know Maisie cleared her of a concussion, but I'm pretty sure these are two very concussed people talking to each other
Yeah, like
right now.
Maisie sees like Jordan like trying to think for a second and just like goes back over and is like, God.
I realize the eyes are always slits, right?
It's not.
They don't change.
I get that. I understand. But you're acting like you just got hit over the head with a barrel. Again. Probably.
Points to the bloody mess that's probably, I guess Maisie probably cleaned it a bit, but the mess that is where her missing horn is, like, that explains everything.
Smurdy. Thinking. Maisie will just tend to her while she records.
What's the 6 get us?
The 6, I was going to wait a second until there was a lull in the conversation, but I suppose this works. It is the, Jorn, that occasionally, quote unquote, people run across the Silver Watch, in unfavorable terms. It happens, well, more often than you think, really. Most face imprisonment and choose to be judged. Usually the resulting punishments are a little more forgiving if you take that route, that if you are completely at their mercy, really they only kill you in a very specific type of manner. If you've specifically killed Silver Watch members, if you have
Kidnap them?
kidnapped them, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe if somebody would say accused of certain things, then it could go very badly. But there is another option called Bargain of the Damned, where you enter a gauntlet. And it is a very, very difficult trial, but it will essentially either bind you into service of the Silver Watch, prove you as fighters, and you would then essentially owe your lives to the Silver Watch and victory. And you get what freedom you may, or you die trying. Or you just leave your fate up to the mercy of victory. More specifically, you would know, Joran, to Rentari's mercy, which is forgiving, usually. Unless it's in the case of his daughter, in which, that's a different story.
Joran's aware she's fucked either way.
Yeah.
Joran high fives Shivers, or high fives Joran in being fucked.
Oops.
Well,
So-
you have a few options here in the camp. Wait for them to drag you over for... can plead for a trial. Might let you work it off. Do something or another. Or you can ask to fight in the pit. Makes you put you at their beck and call, but might be better if they already think you're guilty of whatever you're gonna do.
And you would also know, Joran, it's a little different than the pit fighting you were doing before, which was more
Showy.
sanctioned. It was more showy. Yeah. These would be bloody fights to the death. They would throw some pretty nasty things at you guys.
I'd only suggest trying for the bargain if you don't really think you have a chance otherwise. Just as happy to see you die in their pit.
You seem to know a lot about the Silver Watch.
I do know a lot about the Silver Watch.
What are the odds that Silver Watch of Baron Sands is in communication regularly with Silver Watch of Kirkstone?
Is that something Joran would know?
I mean, probably. You know, they run, they don't run their operations entirely out of one city. They prefer to have an off-site base camp where they then communicate with their people in other places.
Probably people in the camp that know.
You do.
I was in a place like this. I got out of a place like this. And, yeah, things happen when you get out of places like this. And he kind of motions to the puddle of blood that Sam left behind.
Well, better hope they give you your option in order to get back to wherever it was that you did your thing. Or it takes time.
They're not talking to anybody anymore.
Then what are you worried about?
Somebody found out.
Yeah, and word like that takes time to cross the desert, so cross your fingers or take the bargain.
Jasmine, can you do me a favor? Actually, no. You're smaller. Shivers, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
Put me in that cot.
Shivers will just pick him up and put him in the cot.
And Kieran just lay down for a little while.
How many cots are in the cells?
So there's 2 per cell.
Okay.
They're pretty small. You guess the cells were probably made to hold 2 to 3 people. There's some room, but not a whole lot.
Shivers will just lay on the ground.
You said there's like a straw pillow, right?
Yes, there are 2 straw pillows, 1 on each cot.
Jasmine just gonna throw it at Kieran.
Poop. Bangs off of him. He can't protect himself. Again, he's bound.
It hits his shoulder and then like flops on the ground.
Will silently get up from a laying position on the ground, pick up the pillow, and do you want this back, Miss Jasmine?
If you don't mind.
Did you want something, or is that just taking out aggression?
Hand it back to her.
I want to not be in jail. She throws the pillow again, this time at his face.
You heard, Joran, they're going to ask you what you want. Apparently, they're a little more civilized down here. I just got put in a box and left, but apparently down here, you're going to be given a choice. Become a member of the Silver Watch and walk away.
Oh, it's not that easy. They only let you become a Silver Watch member if you survive the bargain.
I'm sorry, I got hit in the head a lot. Some of the finer details escaped me. So, we either sit in here or take the bargain, win the bargain, and our freedom. Well, some of us will get freedom. Others of us might not be so lucky. So, just kill whatever they tell you to kill. Or we could try it my way again, but everybody's got to be on side. That means everybody. And he shifts around to look at Maisie, and then the dude who hasn't said anything.
Yep.
Excuse me, are you alive over there?
If all 6 of us work together, and I mean truly work together, we might be able to get out of here. Or you guys can take the deal.
I hate to break it to you, but I'm not leaving the camp until I finish my business.
I don't know if you hear me sighing, but he just sighs. What's your business?
I have to put something sharp in a motherfucker, that's what I gotta do.
Oh, that's gonna happen a lot if we do my plan. A lot of times.
Yeah, a very specific one.
Again, this only works if everybody's on side. Jasminder, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I don't want to fight anyone. I don't want to fight anything. I just want to go back and feed the homeless.
Oh, no. Who did we lose?
I believe West is having some Wi-Fi issues.
Oh, she's back. Well, I apologize. It's going to be some... if you want to feed a homeless person, hi. But in the meantime, it's going to be some time before you can get back... You're probably not going to be able to go back to Barren Sands. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Can't we just ask the people that brought us here to take her back there?
Remember when we talked about the people that put us in here did it because they either don't like us or don't care about us?
Yeah.
That includes her.
Oh.
If we fight our way out of here and kill many of their friends, she can't go back there.
Jasminder's gonna cross the cell over to Kieran's cot and pick that pillow up and start hitting him with it over and over.
Jesus! Lady, please, I'm genuinely trying.
Even be here!
I know.
Real violent for someone who
Jasmine,
doesn't want
could
to
you
fight.
stop, please?
I really want to, genuinely want to help you, Jasminder. I'm just telling you, there's no way to do that without... Honestly, there's no way to say this kindly or tactfully. You chose to help the worst person on the planet you could have chosen to help. And because of that, your life is ruined. And I apologize for that.
I had a
There's
good life.
There's
Had a good
probably
life.
somewhere in this shithole world you can go where the watch won't follow you. But if we break out of here, you cannot go back to Barren Sands. You will be caught immediately. You will stick out like a sore thumb.
You could go back to my tent, Miss Jasminder.
His tent is in the middle of the desert. You cannot do that.
But why can't she?
It's
I was
gone.
out there.
Is this kid serious?
I have no idea. I've known him for 4 days. Most of that I've been unconscious. And the one day that I wasn't, I had to tell him what money was. Are you on team Prison Break or are you on team Bargain? Jordan.
Doesn't matter. They're gonna kill me either way, so,
Yeah, me too. But I would like to get these two out. A kid's an innocent. He literally is just a blank slate. And this lady, for all that she's beaten me up with pillows, is genuinely maybe the kindest person I've met in about 15 years.
You deserve the pillow beating. Truly.
I truly did. I understand that.
then they should ask for a trial. Then you don't have to fight. They may give you something to do and you don't... might let you go afterwards, go back to Barren Sands or wherever it is you're from.
I don't want to be Silverwatch. I can't be Silverwatch. I can't do what I need to do as a Silverwatch.
I don't think I can be Silverwatch because Mr. Kieran wants to break out and I'm Mr. Kieran's bodyguard.
You are officially relieved of the duties of being my bodyguard, Shivers.
Alright. Can I still go with you anyway, though?
I would rather you keep Jasminder safe. Your new job, and I will find a way to pay for it one day, is to bodyguard Jasminder till further notice.
Well, if you want, it can just be one of those goods and services that you do for free. Like opening the gate.
Must have really crossed somebody in Barren Sands if they thought this person was a jackal.
Do you want me to tell you the story of what we did?
I
Jordan,
don't care what you did.
It wasn't we. There was no we in this.
It's a tale of brutality and horror.
I do. What else are we doing?
We walked into the gate. Shivers gave a guard watching the gate literally about 300 gold. A beautiful woman approached me, asked me if I wanted wine and stew. I said yes. She took us to a temple. We ate some wine and stew. I followed somebody following me into an alley. And then I got stuck up by about 20 guards. That sounds about right, Shivers?
Well, it wasn't 300 because it was 105 and then you took 30. So he got 70. And you missed the part where you chased that man in the alley earlier.
Yeah, that's...
And you missed the part about Perdita.
That's the horrific crime I committed, Jordan. I walked into a city.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the brutal part.
That was being sarcastic. There is no brutal part. The brutal part was me being jumped by 30 guards for walking into a city.
Shoot,
Alright.
you must have had the wrong shoes on.
That's...
Is it my fault, Mr. Kieran?
No.
Jasminder's gonna hug Shivers. Just gonna hug Shivers.
Okay, can you... Your name's Shivers?
Yes, ma'am?
Could you come close to the bar so I can try and get a look at your eyes from here?
Yeah. Shivers will come close to the bar.
Can I do any sort of, like, check to see if he does, like... Just giving a look over, like, does it seem like this is his normal, or does it seem like something happened to this boy?
That's a great question. I might actually have to Google something real quick.
I'm concussed as fuck.
She's Googling what I had to Google like a week ago.
Yeah.
Just tell her. Just whisper it to her real quick.
I have one tip for you, Danny.
Uh-huh.
I'm DMing it to you while you Google
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
While that's happening, Kieran will just continue to tell Jordan. And yeah, that's why we got arrested, as far as I know, because you said it takes time for word to travel south.
Then why are you worried about asking for a trial if you didn't do anything?
Because, in my experience, people with power don't need a reason to determine you guilty of something.
Well, they need a reason. It doesn't have to be a good one.
But they could just make up that reason.
Either you're useful to them or they don't care, so...
Yeah, so unless they know I killed a guard in the prison I was in, I could walk free, but I don't see that happening. Again, not my experience with the watch.
Maisie, go ahead and make a medicine check.
Oh boy! Yeehaw! As a 15.
Okay. Are you just looking at his eyes?
I mean, from their positioning, she can't do, like, a completely thorough thing, but she's giving, like, a once-over survey. I might have Shiver turn a little bit to see if there's, like, any head trauma or just anything that she can spot, like, just, like, it's basically like a physical, but without being there to do a physical.
Deep breath out.
Yeah.
You would notice that his eyes are somewhat bloodshot. And he's constantly, like, shivering, even as you're kind of looking him over. But he feels, like, warm to the touch. It doesn't feel cold at all. And as
they touch hands across the bar, it's just like,
as he kind of, like, turns his head, you think you actually see something. Just barely. It looks like there's something going on with his nose that you're not sure about. You can't get a good enough look, but you get just a sense that something might be up.
hey! She'll, like, yell to the guards.
One of the guards will come over. This is a new guard.
The new Sam.
The new Sam. Hi.
Might as well ask.
Mm-hmm.
I think something's wrong with... And she'll point towards Shivers. Is there a chance, son, that I could go over and see what he's doing? What's wrong with him?
You want us to put you in the same cell?
Oh. Yeah.
She'll kind of look over the group, just kind of take a gauge of Kieran completely bound in the corner, deciding that it's probably a better... She had heard on the way in what had happened, but she's just gonna kind of... She'll go and unlock the cell and grab Shivers and move him over to your cell.
If it makes her feel any better, Jasminder will simply... Is Kieran laying on his back or on his belly?
I would imagine he's laying on his side.
I thought he was on his belly.
No,
the whole time.
no, he's on. he's on his side because I personally find Belly very uncomfortable, and he laying on his back currently would be very uncomfortable because his hands are bound back there. So he's just on his shoulder, watching all of this happen.
Yeah, Jasminder's just gonna sit on the cot that Kieran is also on and kind of like assure the guard that he's not gonna move.
Yeah, as she goes over and grabs Shivers, goes to the other cell, the second guard, who's been the meaner of the two, will go over with the guard and make sure that Joran doesn't try anything. As they, Shivers, they put you in the cell with Maisie and Joran.
Shivers, when he gets in there, he looks to all three of them, and in a row he goes, "Hello there, Miss Maisie. Hello there, Miss Joran. Hello there, sir." As if he has not spoken to them like one time through the cell.
Just kind of, yes, hello there, Shivers. It's good to meet you face to face again. Yeah, what can we see up close with our boy?
The bloodshot eyes are pretty noticeable. But as you get kind of a closer look and examination, you can see tiny holes on the inside of his nostrils.
Like on the, I'm guessing not like a piercing, but does it look like
No.
there's puncture wounds?
No, doesn't look like puncture wounds. Go ahead. Seeing with a.
I was gonna say, I'm
Okay.
assuming this isn't like just a piercing.
No,
looks
it
like
is not a
that.
piercing. It looks like something abrasive kind of dug into them. Like they're a bit raw.
So,
If you want, you can go ahead and make, I will say, a second medicine check to try and see what that would be a symptom of that Maisie would know about. As Maisie
give it a go.
As Maisie is a medical professional.
Well. Whoa.
So that's a 12. Between the 12 and the 15 that you've rolled, I will say, yeah, sure. You could tell it's, from drug use.
Yeah, honestly, that was a go-to. That was...
Yeah.
She was like, if you don't have brain damage, the next thing I'm gonna... The bloodshot eyes is like... Shoot.
The guards are out of here, right? They're gone.
Yeah,
they're gone now.
Yeah, these two seem more content to just leave y'all the fuck alone.
Cool. Okay. So, I don't want to be a member of the Watch. You don't want to die. And she kind of just pats Kieran on the shoulder. And I'm assuming no one else wants to die or be a part of the Watch. So, what is our great plan to be rid of this?
We stand trial.
Sounds about like it.
Right.
Best case scenario, at least you, our boy over there, and Maisie go free. Apparently Joran's tagged for death, and I don't know what they have for me.
And if we were to do some kind of prison break,
You'd have to fight through every person that's sitting in the camp.
Shivers raise a hand.
yes, Shivers.
How many people is that?
A lot.
Well, You're a very big person. I'm sure if we get you a weapon, I like my odds with you. And Kieran's pretty scrappy himself.
Yeah, sorry, that was for. I rolled just to see if Maisie would have anything on with like raw or like after effects. Unfortunately rolled a 1, so definitely doesn't have anything on her right now to help with that. Should just be like, anyone got any herbs, roots? You guys have a patcher in here?
One of the guards who's been one of them is kind of taken post. The woman, she kind of like glances over, kind of standing. Well, she can still keep an eye on you guys, but not like just intensely watching you face head on. She like shakes her head. Next patcher's across camp. Why?
There's a root. Yeah. Help with these sorts of symptoms.
You know what's wrong with him?
Yeah, looks like he's been using and abusing.
Can't say that I blame him.
That makes so much sense.
What have I been abusing?
Well, I don't know that, but I can tell that you've used something. There ain't anything here. Unfortunately, I got nothing on me at the moment. Wasn't expecting sort of thing. Answer your question, Bender. I'm not ignoring. I'm just patient. Gotta handle whoever comes into it. Not my office. It sounds like the only thing we can do is that trial.
Well, you could also do the challenge, or however Jordan put it, where you fight something very deadly and become a member of the
challenge.
Watch for Life.
That's what I meant.
Well, no, there's two things. There's trial, which is an actual trial, and then
Oh.
there's the challenge where we fight something, and if we kill it, we become members of the Watch. The trial probably has consequences, like whether we're found guilty or not. The challenge, we can die. Or we prison break, which I'm still team prison break.
Jornwell, you know that there is a trial of sorts where they don't usually kill people. It's been known to happen, and usually the punishments are hard labor or something similar for years. It's not a light sentence.
So one's indentured servitude and the other is win or die right now.
Basically.
Which one do you want to do, Miss Jasminda?
Whichever one has the best odds of me not being in the cell anymore.
That's probably the trial by combat. Let's just call it that for ease of speaking.
Do we even know how long it would be before we got any kind of trial? Anything?
Guard!
She is kind of overheard you at this point and will come over.
One over there, Joran, says guys offer trial by combat.
Yes, so it's the fool's bargain. It's well, it's a challenge, a gauntlet of sorts. You don't just fight one enemy, you fight multiple, and then if you defeat each of them, you aren't just granted a pardon from the Watch. You are part of the Watch, but you also get in the door of sorts with the leader. Kind of prove yourselves. I can't say it's always a pleasant thing.
You have a name?
Um, Cal.
Cal?
Cal.
Cal. This one here, and he just like shakes his head in Jasminder's direction. Probably has never committed a crime in her life. Against the Watch, against the Jackals, against anybody. She does not. There's no way she deserves to be here.
Jasminder's just nodding along.
She kind of gives a sympathetic look. And you can see she's, she probably is at least part Dwarvish. She's a little shorter than some of the other guards. You can see she's got a pretty nasty facial scar. But she's got some
Hey, scar buddies.
Yeah, she's got some 5 o'clock shadow, kind of linking back to her Dwarven heritage. She kind of offers a shrug. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's pretty rare for them to be lenient, even if folks are innocent. I'm not really in league to say. It's above my jurisdiction. Probably just got caught in the middle of something, but I mean, if you guys can pass the gauntlet, it's not a bad way to live.
When is the next gauntlet?
Well, whenever, I suppose you would inform us.
How did you get in here, Cat?
It was like, I thought you were telling that to the guard and not your cat.
Very sudden question.
Sorry.
That was really funny. No, you're good. So you would inform me or my counterpart here. We would take it up the chain of command and would have to get Rentari's approval. I'll chat with Victory, and then from there, if it's approved, then you guys will be thrown in the gauntlet. It shouldn't take all that long. We just run a messenger up to him.
That one over there seems to think she's marked for death. She's still in?
This guard kind of looks over and does get a kind of hint of familiarity of, oh, that's the pit fighter that, did what she did. And,
Is that what we're calling it?
yes. She does also note the broken horn, with kind of a curious look. You're one of us, so you know. I heard the few rumors that one of the prisoners was one who kidnapped Sabine, but I'm gonna. You don't look like the type to kidnap Sabine. No offense.
You would probably be the first person that I've met that has not accused me of a crime.
Yeah, they like to do that around here.
They like to do that everywhere.
Yeah, look, I get it. You know, it's
Sharon's nodding.
it's shit luck. What happened to you guys? I can't say that you're gonna get off scot-free, but if they are accusing you of running off and trying to kidnap Rentari's daughter, I'd try my chance. You'd probably go with the bargain. I really wouldn't want to see how that would end up otherwise. I mean, maybe you could convince them, but
end up.
yeah.
But she still has the option for the bargain.
Well, yeah, you each do,
Fucking bureaucrats, man.
including Silent and Broody over there in the corner, and even the Dwarven lady kind of points out the brooding hooded figure in the corner.
So is it individual trial by combat, or...?
It could be, but you could also choose to take it as a group. Better odds if you do it as a group. But, you know, Some people don't play with the others very well. But they might throw something harder at you if you take it as a group, but chances are better in my opinion.
Maisie, you've been quiet. You in?
Look, I mean, I don't know why I'm here, to be honest. Apparently I've made someone up high, possibly butthurt over something. But if going to die, sure.
I mean,
What else do I got?
that
Also, what is
sounds.
his name? She just points over to the shadowy fingers like, I know, I'm sorry.
I
What is his name?
never gave a name.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Alright, if we're going there, we'll get back to the conversation about the fool's bargain or whatever it's called.
No, please do.
What is he? No, we're sticking on this guy for a moment.
Okay,
I need
sure,
to know. I need to know.
The guy in the corner. They actually captured him up north a little ways, from what I hear. I don't have dossiers on each of you yet. It hasn't quite come through the system yet, but he's been here for, I'd say, about a week now. He eats and drinks what we give him. Don't think the higher-ups want him dead just yet, but, well, and she kind of leans in close. He's one of those Frostborn. We don't even know if he speaks the trade tongue, really.
Do any of us know what a frostborn is?
Make a history check.
Yeehaw!
Yeehaw, indeed.
Woo!
That's a 22 for Kieran.
Okay.
Wow, that's a 13.
Yeah. Anyone else that would like to roll for history may do so. I will say, Shivers, you are not allowed. You have
I wasn't
you,
planning on it.
you have massive amnesia.
Was not planning on it.
I'll go ahead and roll. I don't expect this to go
Are they
well.
snowy?
That is a solid 3.
3, hard to say. You haven't come to fight. You haven't fought with them, and you also still have a pretty nasty headache, so...
Yeah.
However, Kieran, you're from up north a little ways. Even in, I would say, in Exile's Reach, you would have heard of the Frostborn. Are the they aren't really any known or familiar race. They are humanoid. They are larger than the average. They're about the same size as Joran. So if you guess where this individual will stand up, they would be about 7 feet tall. You know a little bit that they're very nomadic. They're very reclusive. They do not like to come south, really at all. But they will, on occasion, for resources. Sometimes territorial border disputes. It's more prominent to the west over by Ashburn. But, it's not unheard of for them to travel. It's just incredibly rare. And to find an individual this far south is even more interesting. But they're not one to mingle lightly.
I'm not even going to ask why you're holding a Frostborn.
They caught him up north. That's all I know.
Well, Maisie, you sound like you're in for a fool's bargain.
I don't know. More than anything, I want to find out what exactly brought me to this point.
Yes, that's what I was going to say before we got a little bit sidetracked by Big Boy over there. It sounds like from what Cal was saying that if we succeed, we might get an audience with Victory, whoever that is. She sounds pretty high up. You could then ask her.
She's the
leader.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then that means he's technically not
And if
wrong.
you want to know why you're in here, when I go out and tell them that you're wanting to take the bargain, I'll just go ahead and see if I can round up information.
Could you please?
Yeah, I'll go poke around, see if I
That
can
would be
find
really nice.
what might know a little bit more than I do. I just came here about 20 minutes ago. Saw Sam walk by, was in a state. I'm guessing that was you guys. Somebody
Well,
Jasminder just points at Kieran.
I'm going to be completely honest with you, Cal. That was almost entirely me. Don't hold that against her.
Yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm all that surprised. He's pretty new around here.
No, yeah. Anyway, yeah. What was I going? Jeff have forgotten what he was going to say. So. Oh. Yeah. I'll take the trial by combat or the fool's errand, and I'll take on hers as well. Nod his head over to Jasminder.
Is that something you can do? Is that something he can do?
Not that I'm aware of. If you want it for yourself, you fight for it.
I suppose I want it.
Can I be a part of Jasminder's?
Do you all want to be on a team?
Well, I'm
Yes,
Jasminder's
certainly.
bodyguard.
Yeah. Yeah. I told her that I'd get her out, and that's the best chance. Could use a medic.
I already said yes.
Alright, and we could use somebody that's tough as balls.
Alright.
What about you, Broody?
Yeah, I was talking about him.
You don't think she's tough as balls?
Come a little closer to the bars.
Give me that some sand. Give me some sand.
You can easily pick up some sand. It's all over the floor. It doesn't make it quite all the way over there.
He's lying bound on a cot. You can hit him with sand. He is now
Alright, give me that
covered in
pillow.
full sand.
Give me the pillow instead. I can get distance with that.
Jasminder will smack him with a pillow for Macy.
Alright, never mind. Thank you.